Now it's the morning after the night before and my party went south quickly because I had to rig up this DIY lighting operation because this darkness is what we were left with whilst trying to party. Not that I party very hard these days, I think we're over by 10 o'clock. And this gives us an opportunity to build a lamp and incorporate some joinery like a rebate joint, but I need some inspiration and I'm falling lucky at the moment. I've got some tickets to a light festival, so let's have a quick look. LEDs, this is even better, a little bit of scrap wood with some joinery, but let's get back there quickly. Like I say, the speed of light. But now all that cheesiness is over. There's a couple of things I want to show you here that I think would really help you along with your woodworking because it's helped me no end. Every good project depends on two key things. Can you measure and cut accurately? But before that, have you made a plan of what you want to build? Do you understand the processes that you're going to have to go through? For this build, I want to create a fake beam. On the inside, there'll be a shallower piece with some notches cut out so the LEDs can lap around, creating a stronger beam of light. And rebate cuts will be used for the joinery to add strength when glued up. So this is my preferred method for making these cuts. I get out the poor man's track saw, line it up with the line and you get a perfect cut every time. So now that we've got all our pieces cut to the correct length, we're going to mark on where we want to make these rebate cuts. There's nothing worse than making a cut or forgetting to make a cut and having to go back and reset up your jig. Don't ask me how many times it took to learn that. It were quite a few. So once we've made our marks, we need to decide how we're going to cut these rebates. There's a couple of different methods that you could use here. You could use your router, using something like a set square that would help you keep a nice straight cut, or use the parallel fence that comes with your router. Problems with this because it might just rock a little bit on those corners. And the way that I'm going to do it today is with my table saw. I'm going to set my blade half the depth of the piece of wood that I've got. That way I'm leaving plenty of length, it's not a weak point, and also giving that little bit of extra gluing area. To do this successfully, you need to run the piece through multiple times, nudging the fence over a fraction at a time. I also like to keep an offcut on the same material, where adjusting my cut till I've got right fit on something that's nice and snug. These are the cutouts that I mentioned before in the plan. These will allow the LEDs to circle around, but to make sure that all the joints are nice and tight, we need to do a dry fit. If you're anything like me, this will go just perfectly, and then there'll be a disaster in the real glue. If you've got any ways to avoid nightmare situations like these, feel free to leave it below in the comments. It's an area in woodworking I'm real keen to improve on. No matter the size of the project, it seems to be at the moment that every glue up uses every clamp that I've got. Why is it that this keeps working out like this? So the beast is free, and it's come out rather well. There is a little corner that's risen slightly. Came back to find a couple of the clamps loose. I don't really know how that's happened. So it's on to painting. It's just a little bit of brown out of a rattle can. This should make it look like the beams that are already there. There's always something I forget to do. I should have wrote this in my plan. I didn't check how strong these beams are. There's only one way I can think to test these out, so let's get to it. Yeah, right. Like any of us thought that I could do some pull-up maybe 20 years ago, but not today, eh? A quick access hole on the top for the wires and some hot glue to stick the lights in place should do just fine. So with the lights all hung up now, it's time to think back to what I said at the beginning. A rebate joint to try and improve my woodworking and maybe something that you could learn from. If that's something that you've enjoyed seeing, try checking out this video down here. We'll look at finger joints in a whiskey box, but other than that, there's just time to turn these lights on and see how this project's come out. I'm absolutely made up with the results. It's not perfect, nothing ever is. Until the next build, have a good one.